Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you isn't sugar-coated, and it isn't optional. Life does not wait. Success does not knock politely on your door and ask if you're ready. It doesn't linger in the background while you figure things out. It moves forward relentlessly, and if you're not moving with it, you're falling behind. You have the power to change everything, but that power only works if you take full responsibility. Not later, not tomorrow. Now. Right now. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads. One path is easy, comfortable, predictable. It whispers to you with gentle familiarity, promising nothing will hurt, nothing will challenge, nothing will change, but it delivers nothing in return. The other path is sharp, uncomfortable, demanding. It challenges every habit, every belief, every excuse you've ever used. That path is the one that leads to growth, to achievement, to mastery. It's the path of ruthless focus. And make no mistake, there is no middle ground. You either commit fully or you drift. The truth is this: no one else is going to focus for you. No one else is going to take control of your life. Not your parents, not your friends, not your mentors, not your boss. You are the only one responsible for your results. Every success, every failure, every victory, and every regret is yours. Take a moment and let that sink in. Feel the weight of it. It's heavy, isn't it? But it's also liberating, because if it's all on you, it also means you alone hold the keys to change. The moment you stop blaming, the moment you stop waiting for others to push you forward, that's the moment you start winning. Imagine your life as a blank canvas stretched across the horizon. Every choice you make is a brushstroke. Every day, every hour, every decision shapes the picture of your future. What will it look like? Will it be a chaotic smear of random colors, a landscape painted by distractions, laziness, and indecision? Or will it be precise, bold, deliberate, a masterpiece crafted with intention and care? The paintbrush is in your hand. The colors are ready. The canvas is yours. Now, think about the small decisions you've been making unconsciously. Waking up late, scrolling endlessly on social media, avoiding that one task that could change everything, letting your energy drain on things that don't matter. Each of these moments might seem insignificant. Each of them feels harmless. But multiplied day after day, week after week, they are the chains holding you back. Every time you choose convenience over action, you are trading your potential for temporary comfort. You are deciding, subtly, slowly, that mediocrity is acceptable. It's time to break that habit. Not gradually, not sometime soon, now. Stop giving your attention to things that don't move the needle. Stop saying yes to people and obligations that do not serve your growth. Start looking at your day as a battlefield where every choice is a battle and every victory counts. Ruthless focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things with precision, intensity, and commitment so complete that nothing can derail you. Visualize your attention as a laser. When diffused, it's warm and pleasant, but weak. It flickers, it scatters, it barely leaves a mark. But when concentrated, when it locks onto a target without hesitation or compromise, it can cut through steel. That is what ruthless focus does for you. Every distraction you eliminate, every hour you reclaim, every action you take with complete attention is sharpening that laser. You are building a tool more powerful than talent, more powerful than luck, more powerful than any external advantage. I want you to picture the life you desire in vivid detail. Not vague, not distant, not abstract. I mean the kind of vision that makes your stomach tense, that lights a fire in your chest, that makes you sit up straighter. What do you see? The clarity of that vision matters because it will act as a magnet for your focus. Everything you do, every decision you make, every ounce of energy you expend should be aligned to that vision. Ruthless focus is not random. It is a series of deliberate, purposeful choices designed to bring that vision into reality. This book isn't about theory. It's not a collection of feel-good mantras or inspirational quotes you'll read once and forget. It's about action. It's about change. It's about holding yourself accountable in ways that are uncomfortable, demanding, and transformative. And it's about realizing that the only way forward is through, not around. No shortcuts, no excuses. Just relentless, unwavering, ruthless focus on the life you are determined to build. Let's talk about responsibility for a moment, because it's the cornerstone of everything that follows. Responsibility is heavy, but it's also freeing. When you claim full ownership of your life, you stop waiting for external validation, you stop blaming circumstances, and you stop blaming other people. You stop hoping that someone else will fix what only you can fix. Responsibility means looking in the mirror and saying, "This is my life. These are my results. These are my choices. I will no longer accept mediocrity because I am responsible for every outcome." That is the mindset that fuels every successful person you admire. They did not wait for permission. They did not rely on luck. They acted, fully, completely, ruthlessly. There will be resistance. There always is. Resistance comes in many forms: fear, doubt, procrastination, distractions, even comfort. It's subtle, sneaky, and persistent. You will feel it whispering, coaxing you to step off the path, to rest, to compromise. But every time you give in to it, you lose a fragment of the power you could wield. The only way to win this war is to recognize resistance for what it is, a signal that you are on the right path, and keep moving forward anyway. Face it, name it, and push through it. That is the essence of ruthless focus. I want you to understand something fundamental. This is not about working harder in the sense of doing endless busy work. Hard work without focus is just spinning wheels. Ruthless focus is about channeling your effort into the actions that truly matter. It is about knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it in a way that produces results. Every hour spent must have purpose. Every decision must serve your endgame. Otherwise, you are simply sacrificing your energy for nothing. Take a moment to reflect on your daily life. Ask yourself honestly, where is my attention going? Is it going toward building the life I want, or is it being siphoned away by trivialities, distractions, and low-value activities? Are my choices deliberate, or am I drifting? This is not a question for later. It's not a question to answer passively. It requires immediate, brutal honesty. Write it down, speak it aloud, confront it. The first step in ruthless focus is awareness. If you don't know where your energy is going, you cannot redirect it. As you stand on the edge of this journey, know this: ruthless focus is a muscle. It will not grow overnight. It will resist. It will tire. You will falter. But each time you practice it, each time you return to your priorities, each time you eliminate what does not serve your mission, you are building strength. You are creating a discipline that cannot be taken away. You are forging a version of yourself that can achieve anything you decide is possible. Now, take a deep breath and feel the gravity of what is in front of you. This book is your guide, but the transformation comes from you. You must be willing to stare at yourself, to confront your habits, your distractions, your excuses, and say, "I will do what is necessary. I will focus ruthlessly. I will own my life. No one else will do it for me." That declaration, made in the quiet of your mind or aloud into the world, marks the turning point. It separates those who drift through life from those who seize it with intention, energy, and unstoppable drive. The journey ahead will demand everything you have: attention, energy, discipline, resilience, and courage. It will not be comfortable. It will challenge every assumption you have about yourself. It will expose weakness and demand strength. But the reward is incomparable: mastery over your own life, the ability to direct your destiny, and the satisfaction of knowing that every result you achieve is 100% yours. No excuses, no compromises. You will earn it fully, relentlessly, ruthlessly. Remember this truth: every second you waste is a second you cannot reclaim. Every choice you make matters. Every action is a vote for the life you will live. If you are ready to stop drifting, to stop waiting for permission, to stop letting life happen to you, then you are ready to begin. The blank canvas awaits. The brush is in your hand. Your future is yours to create. There is no time for hesitation, No room for doubt, no alternative but action. Ruthless focus starts here, not tomorrow, not later, now. Ruthless focus begins the moment you decide that distraction is no longer acceptable. That decision is not a one-time declaration. It is a daily, relentless practice. Every time you look at your phone instead of the task in front of you, every time you choose comfort over effort, you are giving away your power. Focus is not passive, it's aggressive. It's a constant claim on your attention, your energy, your time. Without it, even talent, even opportunity will slip through your fingers like water. Picture this. Your attention is a laser, bright and precise. Scatter it, and it warms nothing. Concentrate it, and it cuts through anything in its path. That is the difference ruthless focus makes. It doesn't just improve performance. It transforms your ability to act, to achieve, to dominate your day. Everything you want begins here. If you cannot control your focus, nothing else matters. You may have talent, you may have connections, you may have ambition. But without focus, all of it fizzles. Start by identifying your one thing, the most critical task that moves you closer to your goal faster than anything else. It is easy to convince yourself that everything is important. Every message, every meeting, every obligation clamors for your attention. But here's the truth. Almost none of it matters. Ruthless focus demands brutal clarity. Choose the task, the project, the action that truly changes the trajectory of your life. Everything else is secondary. Guard your one thing like a fortress, because while you divide your energy, it is diluted. When you concentrate, you multiply your results exponentially. Distractions are the silent killers of achievement. They creep in like shadows, seducing you with ease and entertainment, draining your energy without you even noticing. Social media, notifications, the endless stream of information, it is all designed to fracture your attention. You think you can multitask, but the truth is, your brain is lying to you. Multitasking is a myth. Each time you switch focus, you lose momentum, clarity, and energy. Focus demands that you shut out the noise, that you turn off the endless interruptions, that you create a sacred space where your mind can zero in on what truly matters. Imagine yourself as a sniper, not a hunter scattering through the woods chasing every sound. The sniper waits, breathes, aims, and fires with precision. That is how focus works. It is patient, deliberate, disciplined. It does not chase every opportunity. It selects the target and gives it everything. Nothing else exists in that moment. When you develop this kind of focus, you become unstoppable. The world can scream, chaos can rise around you, but you remain locked in, unshaken, executing with accuracy and intensity. Focus is not passive, it is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows stronger with exercise. Start small. Set aside 1 hour, completely dedicated to your one thing. No phone, no interruptions, no half measures. Let this hour be sacred. Protect it, defend it. Feel the power of unbroken attention, the sense of progress that comes from true immersion. That feeling is addictive in the right way. It is the reward for discipline, the first taste of mastery over your own mind. The intensity of focus is magnified when it is aligned with a deep purpose. Ask yourself, why does this task matter? Why does this goal matter? Connect it to something bigger than convenience or shallow desire. Purpose fuels focus. It is the wind in the sails when the storm hits, the fire that keeps you moving when fatigue and doubt creep in. Without purpose, focus is empty effort. With purpose, focus becomes a force that bends reality to your will. Discipline and focus are inseparable. Motivation will fade. It always does. Motivation is unreliable, fleeting, a spark that comes and goes. Discipline is consistent, unwavering, the engine behind sustained focus. Ruthless focus is about building habits, creating routines, and developing rituals that remove the need for motivation. When you act because it is the standard, because it is non-negotiable, you operate on a level beyond fleeting emotion. You act from strength, not from whim. Think of your daily life as a battlefield. Each hour, each moment is a skirmish. Distraction, procrastination, laziness, they are your enemies. They will attempt to lure you away from your mission. Ruthless focus is your strategy, your weapon, your armor. Every time you resist, every time you return to your task, you strengthen your position. Every time you act with clarity and intensity, you gain ground. Momentum builds quietly, invisibly, until one day the results are undeniable. That is the compound effect of attention. You must learn to say no, ruthlessly, unapologetically, without hesitation. Every yes you give to a trivial distraction is a no to your highest priorities. This is not about being rigid or joyless. It is about protecting the sacred space where results are created. A single hour spent on the wrong thing may not feel significant, but repeated over weeks and months, it becomes a chasm between where you are and where you could be. Focus is protection. It is the decision to say yes to what matters and no to everything else. Visualization is a powerful ally in developing focus. Picture the outcome you are pursuing as vividly as you can. See it, feel it, hear it. Make it real in your mind. Every action you take should be a direct step toward that vision. Ruthless focus is guided by clarity. Without clarity, your attention splinters. With clarity, your energy converges, unstoppable and precise. Let your vision be a magnet, pulling every choice, every action, every ounce of effort into alignment. Resistance will come. It always does. Your mind will rebel. Boredom will creep in. Temptation will whisper. Fatigue will claw at your resolve. That is the test of focus. Not when it is easy, not when it feels good, but when every instinct screams to quit, to give in, to settle. That is when ruthless focus reveals its power. It is in these moments, when you act despite discomfort, that your capacity for excellence grows. The pain of resistance is the training ground of mastery. Energy management is a critical companion to focus. You cannot sustain intense attention on an empty engine. Sleep well. Eat intentionally. Move your body. Guard your energy from people, tasks, and habits that drain it. Focus is amplified when your mind and body are fully fueled. Neglect energy, and even the sharpest focus will dull. Treat your mind like a laser and your body like the power source that keeps it burning bright. Every choice you make to conserve and direct energy is an investment in your ability to maintain unbroken focus. Break your work into focused blocks, deliberately structured to maximize attention. Avoid the illusion that long hours equal productivity. Long hours scattered with distractions are wasted hours. Focused, intense periods of concentrated effort are where results are born. Treat your tasks like high-stakes operations. Plan, execute, review. Protect your time. Do not allow interruptions. This is your fortress of focus, and within its walls, extraordinary work is created. Habits are the scaffolding that supports focus. Build routines that remove decision fatigue, that automate discipline, that make attention effortless. When your environment, your rituals, and your schedule are all aligned with your highest priorities, focus becomes natural, almost inevitable. Every time you act without hesitation, every time you follow through without procrastination, you strengthen the neural pathways that make focus second nature. You are training your mind to be sharp, precise, and unyielding. Momentum compounds. The more you focus, the easier it becomes to focus. The more consistent your attention, the greater your results. One day of distracted effort is nothing. 1 week begins to show. 1 month becomes visible. 1 year transforms your life. Ruthless focus is not a sprint. It is a relentless, continuous campaign. Every day counts. Every action matters. Every choice either builds or erodes your power to concentrate, to act, to win. Take a moment to look at your life and identify the one area where lack of focus is holding you back the most. What is the task, the project, the habit, or the goal that, if approached with absolute clarity and intensity, would move everything forward? That is where your laser must land. Do not scatter your energy. Do not compromise. Attack it with precision, with intent, with unflinching resolve. Let nothing distract you. Let nothing deter you. Ruthless focus is not a temporary strategy. It is a lifestyle, a mindset, a standard. It is the difference between living on autopilot and directing every moment of your life toward your purpose. It is the difference between mediocrity and mastery. When you adopt ruthless focus, distractions crumble, excuses evaporate, and action becomes inevitable. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You are the architect of your reality, wielding your attention like the most powerful tool in existence. Commit today. Commit right now. Decide that from this moment, every choice, every action, every decision will be directed toward what truly matters. Protect your time, guard your energy, eliminate distractions, and channel your attention with ruthless intensity. The results will not appear immediately. Focus requires patience, persistence, and practice, but the payoff is enormous. Clarity, productivity, progress, and ultimately, the ability to achieve goals that once seemed impossible. The journey of focus is continuous, demanding, and uncompromising. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those willing to confront their weaknesses, resist temptation, and act with deliberate, relentless precision every single day. If you are willing to take this path, you will discover power you never knew you had, results you never imagined possible, and a life directed entirely by your own hand. Ruthless focus is your weapon. Your mind is the battlefield. Every choice is a battle. Every victory, every inch gained, compounds into the extraordinary. Nothing is more powerful than a mind that refuses to scatter, that refuses to compromise, that refuses to yield. Focus is the force multiplier that transforms effort into achievement, action into mastery, and vision into reality. Start now. Focus relentlessly. Focus is powerful, but without discipline, it is like a blade without a handle, sharp, but impossible to wield effectively. Discipline is the structure that transforms intention into action, potential into results. Motivation is fleeting, unpredictable, a spark that comes and goes. You cannot rely on it. It will vanish when you need it most, leaving you exposed, vulnerable, and unprepared. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent, unwavering, and unstoppable. It is the engine that keeps your laser-focused attention moving forward, day after day, hour after hour. Picture motivation as a gust of wind. It can push a sailboat, lift you momentarily, make you feel like anything is possible, but it is temporary. Discipline is the rudder, the anchor, the steady hand that keeps the ship moving regardless of wind or storm. Motivation may lift you, but discipline carries you across oceans. Every high performer you admire, every person who has accomplished extraordinary things, did not rely on fleeting feelings. They relied on discipline, on habits, on unwavering commitment to the process, even when it felt hard, even when they didn't feel like it. Start by creating non-negotiable routines. These are the structures that remove the need for motivation. Wake up at the same time each day. Begin your morning with purpose. Execute your most important tasks before the world has a chance to distract you. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions, and without structure, you will drift. Discipline is your shield against chaos. It is the framework that turns your attention and focus into tangible, measurable results. Discipline is not punishment. It is empowerment. It is the ability to act regardless of feeling, to push forward when your mind whispers, rest, delay, wait. Motivation is unreliable. It will not come to you on demand. Discipline is a skill you develop, a habit you cultivate, a standard you hold yourself to, no matter the circumstances. It is the difference between achieving something extraordinary and watching it slip away while you wait for inspiration to arrive. The first step in building discipline is identifying your priorities. Know exactly what matters most. Without clarity, discipline is aimless. It becomes mere busyness, effort without impact. Your priorities are the blueprint for your actions. Every habit you build, every routine you execute, every ounce of effort you exert should serve these priorities. Ruthless focus tells you where to aim. Discipline ensures that your aim does not falter, even when the world grows loud and the mind grows weary. Consistency is the core of discipline. It is doing the things you know you must do, day after day, without fail. It is not about intensity in isolated bursts. It is about relentless, steady, unwavering action, even when you feel tired, even when you feel uninspired, even when the results are invisible. That is when discipline proves its power. Small, consistent actions compound. They build momentum. They create a foundation so strong that motivation becomes irrelevant because your habits carry you forward automatically. Picture a stonecutter at work, hammering the same rock day after day with precise, repeated blows. Each strike seems small, inconsequential, and yet over time, the rock yields. The mountain is transformed. That is the nature of disciplined effort. You may not see immediate results. You may doubt whether your actions matter. The difference between success and failure is not dramatic moments of brilliance. It is consistent, disciplined action repeated relentlessly, over months, over years, until mastery emerges. Discipline also requires accountability. You must hold yourself responsible for every decision, every choice, every action, no matter how small. Excuses are the enemy of discipline. Delay is its poison. Every time you rationalize inaction, you chip away at your ability to control your life. To be disciplined is to accept nothing less than full responsibility. Your success, your progress, your results, they are yours and yours alone. No one else will enforce your standards. No one else will hold the line for you. Resistance is inevitable. The mind and body naturally seek comfort. Fatigue, distraction, temptation, they are relentless. Discipline is what allows you to rise above these impulses. It is what keeps you on track when every fiber of your being screams to quit. This is why it is called ruthless. Ruthless discipline means acting in alignment with your goals, even when every external and internal force is pushing you in the opposite direction. The cost of hesitation is steep. The reward for relentless discipline is extraordinary. Begin with a single, actionable step. Choose one habit that will have the most impact on your day, your week, your progress. Execute it without compromise. Make it non-negotiable. Repeat it until it becomes automatic, a natural part of your life. Each habit you build strengthens the structure of discipline, reinforcing your ability to act decisively without relying on motivation. Small victories accumulate into momentum, and momentum compounds into mastery. Discipline thrives on simplicity. Complexity is the enemy. Eliminate unnecessary choices, remove options that dilute your attention, and automate decisions wherever possible. Every decision consumes energy. Every moment spent debating what to do, when to act, or whether to act is a moment stolen from your progress. Build routines that remove friction. Reduce reliance on fleeting feelings. Structure your life so that action is inevitable. Discipline is effortless when it becomes a habit. Mental toughness is an inseparable part of discipline. It is the ability to act even when fear, doubt, and discomfort are present. Discipline is not avoiding challenges. It is embracing them, confronting them, and doing what needs to be done despite them. You will fail, stumble, and falter. That is part of the process. What separates those who succeed is the willingness to get back up, to return to the task, to act consistently, day after day, without needing a spark of motivation to ignite them. Your environment must support discipline. Surround yourself with structures, tools, and people that reinforce your habits and amplify your focus. Remove temptations, distractions, and negative influences that erode willpower. If you want to be disciplined, you must design your life to make discipline the path of least resistance. Set yourself up to succeed by default. When your environment aligns with your standards, your energy is preserved and focus becomes natural. Embrace discomfort. Discipline is forged in moments of unease, in the stretch between what is easy and what is required. Growth never comes from comfort. Success never comes from convenience. Each time you act despite discomfort, You build strength, resilience, and unshakable resolve. Motivation will never get you there. Only disciplined action will. When you start seeking discomfort deliberately, when you learn to embrace it, you unlock a power that cannot be stopped. Discipline magnifies every effort you make. Motivation amplifies nothing. The person who waits for inspiration will wander aimlessly. The person who acts consistently, regardless of feelings, builds results that grow invisibly, silently, until they become undeniable. Discipline turns ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. It creates a life where action is habitual, focus is automatic, and success is inevitable. Visualize the life you want. Imagine the person you want to become. Motivation may flicker in the distance like a candle in the wind, but discipline is the engine that carries you to that vision. Build routines, enforce habits, resist temptation, confront discomfort, and act relentlessly. Let discipline be your guide, your protector, your standard. It will sustain you when inspiration fades, when fatigue sets in, and when the world conspires to pull you off course. Accountability amplifies discipline. Track your actions, measure your consistency, and review your progress regularly. Reflection without action is meaningless. Every day, examine whether your choices align with your goals, whether your habits reinforce your vision, whether your actions embody the standards you claim to uphold. Discipline without self-awareness becomes rote and mechanical. Discipline with accountability becomes unstoppable. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. Desire is the spark. Discipline is the fire that transforms it into light, warmth, and power. Without discipline, desire dies quietly, wasted on indecision, procrastination, and distraction. With discipline, desire becomes unstoppable momentum, a force that carries you toward every goal, every dream, every aspiration. The disciplined mind does not wait for clarity, it creates it. It does not wait for permission, it takes action. It does not wait for inspiration, it builds results. Take stock of your life. Identify one area where you are relying too heavily on motivation. Notice where you wait for feelings to dictate action, where you hesitate, where you procrastinate. That is the gap. That is the place where discipline must step in. Make a deliberate choice today. Act regardless of feeling. Enforce the standard you know is necessary. Build the habit that ensures you never rely on fickle motivation again. Ruthless discipline transforms everything. It turns ordinary individuals into high performers. It turns vague intentions into clear results. It turns fleeting inspiration into sustained progress. The journey is not easy, but the rewards are unparalleled. Every habit you enforce, every routine you follow, every act of deliberate action strengthens the structure of your life, builds resilience, and compounds into achievements you once thought impossible. Commit yourself today. Commit fully. Let go of excuses. Let go of reliance on motivation. Decide that you will act with discipline, not sometimes, not when it feels right, but consistently, relentlessly, every single day. Your focus will sharpen, your results will grow, your life will be transformed. Discipline is not optional. It is the engine of success, the backbone of achievement, and the framework upon which all extraordinary lives are built. Begin now. Build it, protect it, live it. Let it carry you through every challenge, every distraction, every moment of weakness, until you become unstoppable. Your motivation may falter, but your discipline will not. Discipline will carry you far, but even the most disciplined mind will stumble if it allows doubt and fear to take root. Doubt is the whisper in the back of your mind that questions your ability, your worth, your choices. Fear is the shadow that grows larger in the darkness of inaction, convincing you to wait, to hesitate, to settle. Both are inevitable. Every person who has achieved greatness has faced them, confronted them, and moved forward despite them. Your journey is no different. The question is simple: will you let doubt and fear control you, or will you confront them ruthlessly? Recognize this truth. Doubt is a liar. It presents itself as caution, as wisdom, as prudence. It masks itself in reason, saying, "Wait for the perfect moment. You're not ready yet. Maybe this isn't for you." Those are lies. They are shadows designed to hold you back. Fear, too, is deceptive. It feels protective, but it is actually restrictive. It tells you that the unknown is dangerous, when in truth, the unknown is where growth and opportunity live. To overcome doubt and fear, you must see them for what they are: signals, not verdicts. Signals that point to where you must act, where you must grow, where you must take responsibility. Start by naming your fear. Give it form. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Fear loses its power when it is confronted directly. It thrives in ambiguity and secrecy, growing larger when ignored or suppressed. When you define it, it becomes tangible, understandable, and manageable. One of the most powerful exercises in overcoming doubt is to articulate exactly what you are afraid of, and then examine it without emotion. Is it rational? Is it permanent? Is it as threatening as your mind makes it seem? Usually, the answer is no. It is smaller than you think. It can be faced. It can be conquered. Once you have identified the fear, take deliberate action against it. Action is the antidote to fear. Every step you take, no matter how small, erodes its power. Fear exists in potential. It grows when you wait, when you hesitate, when you do nothing. Doubt strengthens when you linger in inaction. The first step is rarely heroic. It is often small, awkward, and uncomfortable, but it is decisive. Once you act, momentum begins. The mind adjusts. Confidence grows. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite it. Visualize fear as a wall standing between you and your goal. You can do one of two things: stare at it and imagine how impossible it is, or place your hands against it and push, brick by brick, step by step. Doubt and fear are bricks, and action is the force that dismantles them. The more you act, the more you break down the wall, until it is nothing more than rubble you can step over. Every small act of courage compounds. Every deliberate step forward makes the next step easier. Fear loses its hold when confronted consistently, relentlessly, without compromise. Doubt often masquerades as humility. It whispers, "You are not ready. You are not capable." It may feel safe to listen, to hold back, to avoid risk. But safety is not growth. Comfort is not progress. To achieve anything extraordinary, you must embrace discomfort. You must challenge the internal voice that undermines you. You must act in alignment with your goals, even when your mind resists. The strongest minds are not those without fear, but those that persist in spite of it. Practice reframing fear. Instead of seeing it as a warning, see it as a compass pointing toward growth. Fear signals where your comfort zone ends and where opportunity begins. If something scares you, that is exactly where you should be directing your effort. The presence of fear often marks the path of highest leverage, the action that will move your life forward the fastest. Treat fear as a guide, not a barrier. Let it illuminate the areas where courage will produce the greatest rewards. Visualization strengthens your ability to overcome doubt. See yourself confronting the situation that scares you. Picture yourself performing the action successfully. Feel the emotions, the tension, the triumph. Mentally rehearsing your response diminishes fear, builds confidence, and prepares you to act decisively. Your mind cannot distinguish fully between visualization and reality. By rehearsing courage, you train yourself to act with it in the real world. This is a skill that separates those who hesitate from those who achieve. Doubt feeds on comparison. The moment you start measuring yourself against others, questioning your abilities because someone else seems further ahead, stronger, more capable, you empower doubt. Ignore the noise. Your journey is yours alone. Comparison is a trap, a slow poison that weakens resolve. Focus on your progress, your action, your results. Measure yourself only against yourself. Every day ask, did I act in alignment with my goals today? Did I confront my fears? Did I move forward? That is the metric that matters. Action requires decisiveness. Hesitation is the breeding ground for doubt. When faced with a choice, act. Not recklessly, not blindly, but decisively. Procrastination strengthens fear. Indecision reinforces doubt. Each time you act, you signal to your mind that you are capable, that you are in control, that fear does not dictate your actions. Confidence is built in motion, not in thought. Every decisive act chips away at the walls that doubt has built around your potential. The company you keep influences your ability to overcome fear. Surround yourself with individuals who act despite fear, who confront challenges, who hold themselves accountable. Avoid those who validate doubt, who magnify fear, who encourage hesitation. Environment shapes mindset. When your peers normalize action, courage, and persistence, fear becomes less intimidating. When they normalize hesitation, doubt grows unchecked. Choose carefully who you allow into your inner circle. Your courage is contagious. Energy management also plays a critical role. Fear feels larger when your body and mind are depleted. Fatigue amplifies doubt. Stress magnifies hesitation. Low energy strengthens avoidance. Protect your energy. Rest strategically. Fuel your body. Move with intention. When you are physically and mentally strong, fear loses its grip. You approach challenges from a position of power, clarity, and focus. Courage is easier when the engine is running at full capacity. Repetition is essential. Fear and doubt will not vanish in a single confrontation. They will appear repeatedly in different forms at different moments. Each time they arise, act. Confront them again. Strengthen your mental muscles through repetition. Courage is built, brick by brick, over countless small acts of deliberate action. The more you face fear, the smaller it becomes. The more you act despite doubt, the stronger your confidence grows. Accountability accelerates progress. Share your goals and the fears that accompany them with someone who will hold you responsible. Articulate your intentions aloud. Commit to taking action within a specific time frame. External accountability amplifies internal courage. It forces you to confront the excuses and rationalizations that allow fear to persist. It creates pressure in a productive way, pushing you to act when your mind resists. Embrace failure as a tool. Fear of failure is one of the most insidious forms of doubt. You may hesitate because you are afraid to look foolish, afraid to be wrong, afraid to lose. The truth is that failure is inevitable on the path to mastery. Each failure carries lessons, data, and insights that accelerate growth. Fear of failure only prolongs stagnation. To overcome doubt, you must act despite the possibility of failure. The brave learn, adapt, and continue. The hesitant remain trapped in illusion. Commit to daily courage. Choose one action each day that stretches you, that scares you, that challenges your comfort zone. It may be small or large, visible or private. The act itself matters less than the principle. Action over hesitation, courage over doubt. Build a habit of confronting fear, of taking decisive steps in the presence of uncertainty. Momentum accumulates, confidence grows, fear diminishes, doubt fades, action becomes instinctive, a part of your daily life. Self-talk shapes outcomes. Monitor the internal dialogue that accompanies doubt. Replace statements like, "I can't," or "I'm not ready," with "I will act" and "I am capable." Language influences thought. Repetition strengthens belief. The more you verbalize capability and commitment, the more your mind aligns with action. Doubt loses power when your words reinforce your resolve, when your mind hears clarity, strength, and decisiveness instead of hesitation and fear. Visualize obstacles as temporary. Fear magnifies them. Doubt inflates them. When you step back and see obstacles for what they truly are, challenges to be confronted, problems to be solved, they shrink. Every fear confronted, every doubt overcome, becomes a precedent for future courage. You learn, incrementally, that challenges are not barriers. They are opportunities to prove yourself. The mind adapts. Confidence expands. Fear retreats. Finally, integrate reflection with action. Review moments when doubt and fear threaten to stop you. Examine how you responded. Celebrate acts of courage, no matter how small. Learn from hesitation, but do not dwell on it. Each day is a new battlefield. Each day is a chance to act despite fear. Each day is a test of whether you will allow doubt to dictate your life or whether you will confront it ruthlessly, decisively, and relentlessly. Overcoming doubt and fear is not a one-time victory. It is a continuous practice, a daily discipline, a lifestyle choice. Courage is cultivated, resilience is strengthened, confidence is reinforced with each act of deliberate confrontation. The mind grows sharper, the will grows stronger, and the possibilities expand. You will stumble, you will hesitate, you will falter, but the act of acting in spite of it transforms everything. Fear becomes a guide, doubt becomes a challenge, and action becomes inevitable. This is the moment to claim your power, to step into the discomfort, to confront the shadows, to act decisively despite hesitation. Your doubts are not your destiny. Your fears are not your limits. Every action you take, every challenge you face, every courageous step you take dismantles the walls of limitation and opens the path to extraordinary achievement. The journey is yours. The choice is yours. The courage is yours. Step forward. Act, confront, overcome. Courage and action will take you far, but life has a way of testing even the strongest minds. Setbacks, failures, obstacles, they will come. They will arrive unannounced, harsh, and relentless. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter is resilience, the ability to absorb the impact, recover, and move forward with even greater determination. Resilience is not born overnight. It is forged in the heat of adversity, hammered into your character through repeated confrontation with challenges, disappointments, and resistance. Think of resilience as a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Each challenge you face, each failure you endure, each rejection you experience is a set of repetitions that builds toughness. The moments that hurt the most are the moments that shape you the most. Pain is not the enemy. It is the forge. Each trial is a teacher, each struggle a lesson. To build relentless resilience, you must stop avoiding difficulty and start embracing it as an opportunity to grow stronger. Start by changing your perspective on setbacks. Instead of seeing them as signs of inadequacy or failure, see them as information, as feedback. A failed project, a lost opportunity, a mistake. These are not permanent defeats. They are data points, clues that tell you how to adjust, how to improve, and where to focus next. Resilient people interpret every challenge as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. They extract lessons from every encounter, use adversity as fuel, and keep moving forward with determination sharpened by experience. Resilience thrives on preparation. Life will throw obstacles in your path, but the prepared mind meets them with calm and clarity. Build mental and emotional reserves. Train your mind to anticipate difficulty, to expect resistance, to accept that the path forward is rarely smooth. Visualize challenges before they arrive. Rehearse your response. Develop contingency plans. When adversity hits, you will be ready to respond, not react. Preparation transforms fear and frustration into action and confidence. Persistence is inseparable from resilience. You will face resistance, but quitting is never an option. Resilient individuals understand that the first attempt rarely yields perfection. They try, fail, adapt, and try again. Each attempt, each iteration, each adjustment strengthens their ability to endure and overcome. Think of the bamboo in a storm. It bends, but does not break. You must develop the flexibility to absorb impact while maintaining your core strength, bending without fracturing, adjusting without surrendering. Embrace discomfort deliberately. Resilience is built in moments of challenge, not ease. Seek out experiences that stretch your limits, expose weaknesses, and force growth. This does not mean recklessness. It means calculated exposure to difficulty. Push your physical limits, expand your emotional tolerance, and confront problems that demand creative solutions. The more often you encounter difficulty intentionally, the stronger your capacity to endure unexpected trials when they inevitably arise. Adversity has a way of magnifying internal weaknesses. Stress, fatigue, and pressure reveal cracks in discipline, focus, and mental fortitude. Use these moments as a diagnostic tool. Identify the areas where your resilience is lacking and work deliberately to fortify them. Each weakness exposed is an opportunity to strengthen your foundation. The process is uncomfortable, even painful, but each improvement compounds. Over time, your ability to withstand pressure becomes almost unshakable. Resilient people cultivate a mindset of ownership. Life will test you, but no one else controls your response. Victimhood is the enemy of resilience. Complaining, blaming, and rationalizing delays your growth and weakens your resolve. Take responsibility for every outcome, every setback, and every challenge. Ask yourself, what can I control here? How can I respond effectively? What lesson can I extract? When you own your circumstances fully, you reclaim your power and transform adversity into opportunity. Consistency under pressure is a hallmark of resilience. It is not enough to act decisively when everything is easy. True resilience is revealed when fatigue sets in, when resources are scarce, when the world conspires to stop you. The disciplined execution of daily habits, the commitment to priorities even in the face of difficulty, is the quiet, unglamorous work that builds a mind capable of thriving under stress. Resilience is not flashy, it is methodical, persistent, and unwavering. Visualize your challenges as weights in a gym. Each difficulty you lift strengthens your mental and emotional capacity. Every rejection, every failure, every painful moment increases your endurance. The process is gradual, invisible, and often uncomfortable. You will feel strained. You may even doubt whether the effort is worth it. Keep lifting. Every repetition builds strength that will serve you when the stakes are highest and the pressure is greatest. Strength developed under light load is fleeting. Strength forged under strain lasts a lifetime. Emotionally, resilience requires regulation. The ability to act effectively under pressure depends on controlling emotional responses. Frustration, anger, and despair are natural, but they become destructive when allowed to dictate decisions. Resilient individuals acknowledge their emotions, process them, and act in alignment with their goals rather than react impulsively. Emotional discipline does not suppress feelings, it channels them into productive action. The fire of adversity becomes fuel rather than an obstacle. Resilience is reinforced through reflection. Take time to review past challenges and analyze your response. Identify what worked, what didn't, and what could be improved. Reflection transforms experience into wisdom, converting raw hardship into actionable insight. Without reflection, lessons are lost and growth stalls. Resilient individuals learn from every encounter, adapting and evolving with each trial. They do not simply endure, they improve, refine, and emerge stronger. Community and support systems amplify resilience. While internal strength is critical, no one withstands extreme adversity alone. Seek mentors, allies, and peers who have faced challenges and emerged stronger. Learn from their experiences, lean on their guidance, and share your struggles openly with those who can provide constructive support. Surround yourself with individuals who model resilience, because their mindset and habits will influence yours. Strength breeds strength when reinforced by the right environment. Failure is inevitable. Resistance is constant. Plans will go awry, circumstances will shift, and unexpected crises will emerge. Resilient individuals do not pretend otherwise. They anticipate setbacks, accept them as part of the journey, and respond effectively. Resilience is not a shield that prevents harm. It is the capacity to recover, adapt, and continue moving forward in spite of it. Life's unpredictability tests everyone, but those who cultivate relentless resilience rise regardless of the storm. Adversity also demands flexibility. Rigid approaches crumble when conditions change. Resilient individuals adapt while maintaining their core principles. They are not swayed by temporary discomfort or unforeseen obstacles. They adjust strategies, modify tactics, and maintain forward momentum. Flexibility under pressure is a distinguishing trait of the unbreakable. Bending without breaking is not weakness. It is strength applied intelligently, strategically, and relentlessly. Physical resilience underpins mental resilience. Your body is the vessel that carries you through challenges. Fatigue, poor health, and neglect amplify stress, heighten emotional vulnerability, and reduce cognitive clarity. Protect your body with proper nutrition, exercise, and rest. Build endurance physically as well as mentally. When your body is strong, your mind can operate at peak performance under pressure. Resilience is holistic, integrating mind, body, and spirit. Visualize yourself standing in the middle of a storm. Wind howls, rain lashes, obstacles threaten, and the path forward seems uncertain. Every step feels heavy, every breath a challenge. The resilient person does not freeze. They anchor themselves, adjust their stance, and move forward with deliberate, controlled action. They absorb the impact, learn from the turbulence, and continue. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. Every act of persistence is a victory. Resilience compounds over time. Every trial faced, every obstacle overcome, every setback endured increases your capacity to withstand future challenges. Experience becomes an ally. Strength becomes habitual. Courage becomes instinctive. The person who develops relentless resilience gains a form of power that cannot be stolen, a mental toughness that endures beyond circumstance. You do not merely survive adversity, you thrive in it. Commit yourself to building resilience intentionally. Confront discomfort, embrace challenges, analyze failures, and adapt strategies. Fortify your mind, strengthen your body, regulate your emotions, and build support systems that reinforce persistence. Each moment of struggle is an opportunity to grow stronger. Each act of endurance compounds into a foundation of unshakable strength. Resilience is not luck. It is deliberate practice applied relentlessly over time. Your future will demand resilience. Life will test your resolve, push your limits, and challenge your capacity to endure. The storms are inevitable. The setbacks are unavoidable. What separates those who succeed from those who falter is their ability to rise repeatedly, stronger each time, equipped with lessons learned and strength gained. Build resilience today. Fortify yourself. Train your mind, body, and spirit to withstand pressure, absorb impact, and keep moving forward with unbreakable determination. Relentless resilience is your armor, your weapon, and your foundation. With it, doubt cannot immobilize you, fear cannot deter you, and adversity cannot destroy you. You will bend, you will feel the force, but you will not break. You will endure, adapt, and continue moving forward, no matter what stands in your way. Strength is forged through challenge. Power is built in struggle. Master resilience, and you will master the capacity to thrive in a world that tests everyone relentlessly. Resilience gives you the strength to endure, but without mastery of time, even the strongest will falter. Time is your most precious asset, more valuable than money, more powerful than influence, more irreversible than talent. Every second that passes is gone forever. You cannot earn it back, borrow it, or recover it once it slips through your fingers. Yet most people squander it without thought, distracted by trivialities, consumed by urgency without purpose. To achieve extraordinary results, you must treat time with ruthless respect. Imagine your life as a bank account with a fixed balance of hours, minutes, and seconds. Every action, every decision, every delay is a withdrawal. Waste it on distractions, on indecision, on habits that do not serve your goals, and your account drains before you even realize it. The wealthy and successful understand this fundamental truth. Their greatest leverage comes not from resources or connections, but from the deliberate, uncompromising use of time. The hours you control are the foundation of everything you build. Start by taking ownership of your day. Treat each moment as intentional. Do not drift aimlessly from task to task, reacting to the loudest or most immediate demand on your attention. Schedule with precision. Prioritize with clarity. Identify the actions that will produce the highest return on your time investment and focus on them relentlessly. Every choice to procrastinate, to entertain distraction, or to delay action is a choice to surrender part of your life. Time is finite. Guard it fiercely. Understand the cost of lost time. Each hour spent in unproductive activity is not just wasted, it is a missed opportunity to grow, to create, to move closer to your goals. Time compounds, just like money. Small, consistent investments in focused action generate massive returns over weeks, months, and years. Conversely, consistent neglect or poor choices compound in the opposite direction, leaving you further from your potential with every passing day. Time is neutral, but your choices dictate whether it builds wealth or drains it. Visualize your day as a series of blocks. Each block is a chance to produce, to learn, to move forward. Protect these blocks. Treat them like sacred appointments with yourself. Resist interruptions, resist temptation, resist the illusion that minor distractions are harmless. Even small fragments of wasted time accumulate, eroding focus and progress. The discipline to respect time, to guard it, and to use it intentionally is the cornerstone of achievement. The key to mastering time is ruthless prioritization. Most people spend their lives chasing low-impact activities, responding to others' demands, and neglecting what truly matters. Ask yourself daily, what action, if completed today, will move me closest to my goals? What task has the greatest leverage? Do that first. Everything else is secondary. Ruthless focus on high-impact work magnifies results and ensures that your limited time is used to its fullest potential. Avoid the illusion of multitasking. Human attention is not infinitely divisible. Each time you split focus, you diminish the quality, speed, and effectiveness of your work. Time may appear plentiful, but divided attention is a silent thief. Single tasking with intensity, purpose, and discipline is the strategy of high performers. When you commit fully to one task at a time, you accomplish more in less time, and your results improve exponentially. Concentrated effort is your greatest time multiplier. Time management is inseparable from self-discipline. The moments you waste are often moments when self-control falters. Say no to interruptions. Say no to trivial obligations. Say no to anything that does not move the needle forward. Discipline transforms hours into results. Without it, even the most abundant time becomes meaningless. Every act of deliberate control over how you spend your minutes compounds into mastery over your days, weeks, and years. Deadlines and constraints are powerful allies. Humans perform best under pressure, and scarcity accelerates focus. Treat every task as time-sensitive. Limit the hours you allow for completion. The pressure will sharpen your focus, streamline your effort, and eliminate procrastination. Infinite time is an illusion. Strict time boundaries create urgency and force decisive action. When you embrace deadlines as tools, you convert time into a catalyst for productivity. Reflect on your routines. Identify where time is leaking. Observe idle scrolling, unfocused meetings, and indecisive moments. Map your day, hour by hour, and ask, is this the best use of my time? Could this moment be redirected toward higher value action? Awareness is the first step to mastery. Once you see the patterns, you can reclaim wasted hours, redirect them intentionally, and create a life where time consistently works for you, not against you. Leverage compound time through long-term planning. Daily habits, repeated consistently, build momentum that accelerates results. One focused hour today is not just an hour. It is the seed for exponential growth over weeks and months. Small, deliberate investments in learning, action, and improvement multiply over time. The clock becomes your partner when each second contributes to a larger vision, and every action compounds toward extraordinary outcomes. Urgency without recklessness is the mindset of winners. Treat time as a resource to be used strategically, decisively, and intentionally. Avoid distractions that dilute energy. Resist the temptation to defer important work. Every moment counts, every choice matters, and the cumulative effect of disciplined time use is staggering. Winners do not wait for perfect conditions. They act now with focus, clarity, and speed. Time favors those who value it. Energy management amplifies the value of time. Hours alone are not enough if you spend them fatigued, distracted, or depleted. Protect your energy as you protect your minutes. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mental rest are not optional. They are strategic investments in your ability to use time effectively. When your mind and body are aligned, each hour produces maximum impact. Wasted energy diminishes the return on even the most carefully managed minutes. Learn to batch and automate low-value tasks. Administrative work, routine communications, and repetitive actions consume attention if scattered throughout the day. Consolidate these into focused blocks or automate them entirely. This preserves the highest quality time for tasks that generate the greatest results. Efficiency is the multiplier of time. Every minute you save on low-value work can be redirected to high-leverage action that propels you forward. Embrace the inevitability of opportunity cost. Every choice consumes time that cannot be regained. Choosing one task inherently means delaying or forgoing another. Resilient, successful individuals make these decisions deliberately. They invest time where it produces the greatest return and avoid the trap of trying to do everything. Ruthless selection of priorities transforms limited hours into extraordinary outcomes. Visualize your life as a series of timelines. One path is filled with wasted hours, distractions, and deferred action. The other is built on deliberate, high-impact decisions, disciplined execution, and relentless focus. The difference is not luck. It is the strategic use of time. Each day, you act intentionally compounds into weeks of momentum, months of achievement, and years of extraordinary results. Time is the canvas on which your life is painted, and every second contributes to the masterpiece you create. Reflection is critical. At the end of each day, review how your time was spent. Identify the moments of high impact, the distractions, the wasted minutes. Learn from them. Adjust. Commit to improvement. The habit of daily reflection ensures that time is continually aligned with purpose, reinforcing awareness, sharpening focus, and guiding your actions toward meaningful results. Act with urgency. Recognize that every minute is irretrievable. Treat tasks as immediate, decisions as decisive, and action as non-negotiable. Delay is the silent thief of achievement. Hesitation compounds into months or years of lost opportunity. Winners operate with speed, precision, and relentless intention. They respect the scarcity of time and deploy it as their most powerful tool. Time management is inseparable from purpose. If your actions are not aligned with your highest goals, no amount of hours will matter. Identify what truly matters and dedicate your minutes to advancing it. Protect the blocks of time that drive meaningful progress. Refuse to let trivial distractions erode the hours that could define your future. Purpose guides the allocation of your most precious asset. Without purpose, time is wasted. With purpose, it becomes unstoppable leverage. Every moment you waste is a choice. Every second you invest is an act of creation. Time cannot be regained, but it can be directed with precision, clarity, and ruthlessness. Develop habits, enforce priorities, eliminate distractions, and act decisively. Each action compounds into momentum. Each decision builds leverage. Each minute contributes to the construction of the life you desire. Master time, and you master your destiny. Commit now. Protect your hours, respect your minutes, and treat time as the irreplaceable asset it is. Every moment wasted is an opportunity lost. Every moment focused is an investment in your future. Harness time with discipline, clarity, and intentionality, and the results will be extraordinary. The clock is moving. The seconds do not wait. Your life is measured in time. How will you choose to spend it? Time is your greatest asset. Guard it, invest it, and use it relentlessly. Time is your greatest asset, but even the most disciplined person can falter if the environment around them is not aligned with their goals. Your surroundings, your inputs, your social circle, your workspace, all of it shapes your thinking, your energy, and ultimately, your results. Environment is the silent force that either propels you forward or holds you back. Master it, and you multiply the power of your focus, discipline, and action. Neglect it, and you are fighting an invisible enemy every day without realizing it. Consider your mind as a garden. Whatever you plant will grow, but only if the conditions are right. A garden left untended becomes overrun with weeds. Likewise, if you surround yourself with distractions, negative influences, and low expectations, your potential cannot flourish. The quality of your environment directly determines the quality of your thoughts, habits, and outcomes. Take control of it deliberately, ruthlessly, and strategically. Build a space that nurtures your focus, fuels your energy, and supports your growth. Start with your physical space, your workspace, your home, even your digital environment. All of these influence your ability to focus and perform. A cluttered desk is more than an eyesore. It is a drain on your mental energy. Every object, every notification, every open tab competes for attention. Simplify, organize, and streamline your surroundings. Remove distractions. Design spaces that make productive action the default, effortless choice. The environment should work for you, not against you. Your digital environment is just as critical. Social media, endless notifications, and constant connectivity fragment attention and drain mental energy. Decide what you will consume, when, and why. Limit exposure to mindless scrolling. Schedule deliberate windows for communication and digital interaction. Treat technology as a tool, not a distraction. When your digital landscape is aligned with your priorities, focus becomes easier, decisions become faster, and progress accelerates. Consider the influence of the people around you. Humans are inherently social creatures, and the company you keep shapes your beliefs, your habits, and your actions. Surround yourself with those who inspire, challenge, and support you. Avoid those who perpetuate doubt, encourage mediocrity, or normalize excuses. Seek mentors, peers, and collaborators who embody the qualities you aspire to develop. Environment is not only physical, it is relational. The right circle amplifies resilience, focus, and determination. Habits are influenced by your surroundings. If your environment cues distraction, laziness, or avoidance, those habits will dominate. If it cues focus, action, and growth, those habits will dominate. Design triggers for success. Place reminders, tools, and resources in plain sight. Remove temptations and obstacles that lead to wasted time or energy. Environment is the invisible hand guiding behavior. Control it deliberately, and your habits will follow. Emotional environment matters too. Negativity, fear, and doubt are contagious. Exposure to constant complaining, pessimism, or toxic behavior saps energy and erodes confidence. Protect your emotional space. Curate what you allow in. Choose inputs that uplift, inform, and inspire. Books, podcasts, conversations, and media all contribute to the emotional ecosystem that either strengthens your mindset or weakens it. Mastering your environment means mastering the emotional tone that surrounds you. Noise is another factor. Constant sensory input, multitasking, and interruptions fracture attention. High performers treat focus as sacred. They eliminate unnecessary noise, block distractions, and create spaces where deep work is possible. Quiet, intentional environments allow the mind to operate at peak efficiency, generating clarity, creativity, and results. Control the level of sensory input, and you control the quality of your output. Rituals and routines anchor your environment. Deliberate structures, like a morning ritual or focused work sessions, create predictability and stability. These rituals signal to your mind and body that action is expected, focus is required, and results are the goal. The environment becomes a scaffold for performance, reducing friction and enabling automatic alignment with your priorities. The more intentional your rituals, the more resilient and productive you become. Energy flows where attention goes, but it is also amplified or diminished by environment. Surroundings can either conserve or drain your mental and physical energy. Monitor how spaces, tasks, and interactions affect your vitality. Design environments that amplify energy rather than deplete it. High-energy spaces, supportive people, and clear structures multiply output. Low-energy spaces, chaotic inputs, and toxic relationships reduce it. Environment is a multiplier of your effort, not a neutral backdrop. Every choice in your environment is a decision about your future self. Choosing to work in clarity, choosing to eliminate distractions, choosing to surround yourself with ambitious and disciplined individuals, these are deliberate investments. They shape not just today, but every tomorrow. Success is not merely about talent or effort. It is about consistently choosing environments that reinforce your goals, magnify your actions, and protect your focus. Visualize your environment as a force field. It either shields you from distraction and weakness, or it exposes you to chaos and stagnation. Strengthen that force field. Remove clutter, eliminate negative influences, and fill it with tools, relationships, and structures that support your growth. This is not a one-time adjustment. It is an ongoing practice. Evaluate and refine your surroundings constantly because small changes compound into massive leverage over time. Mastery of environment extends to habits of consumption. What you read, watch, and listen to informs your thinking, frames your perspective, and fuels your imagination. Avoid passive or negative content that wastes time or fosters doubt. Instead, consume material that educates, challenges, and inspires. Curate your intellectual environment as deliberately as your physical and social environments. What you allow in shapes what you create, what you act upon, and who you become. Flexibility within structure is essential. Your environment should support growth, not restrict it. Periodically challenge yourself to step outside comfort zones while maintaining supportive frameworks. Temporary changes, new inputs, and different perspectives enhance creativity and resilience. However, maintain core structures that safeguard focus and energy. The goal is an environment that balances stability with growth, protection with challenge, and order with opportunity. Accountability within environment is critical. Place reminders, trackers, or supportive individuals who reinforce your priorities and goals. Structure the surroundings to provide feedback, reward progress, and highlight misalignment. The environment should constantly signal what is expected and what is non-negotiable. Surround yourself with cues that encourage action, focus, and excellence. Your environment should work for you, every hour of every day. The consequences of a poorly managed environment are subtle but severe. Distraction, wasted time, eroded energy, lowered ambition, and weakened habits accumulate silently. You may feel productive in fragments, but progress is slow, inconsistent, and exhausting. The environment does not merely support or hinder. It shapes the trajectory of your life. Mastering it is not optional. It is a prerequisite for extraordinary results. Make deliberate choices daily. Decide where you will spend your time, who you will engage with, and what inputs you will allow. Arrange spaces for optimal performance. Remove obstacles to focus. Curate relationships that strengthen your mindset. Build routines that reinforce your highest priorities. Every action in alignment with your environment multiplies the effect of your effort. Every neglect erodes potential. Think of mastery over environment as creating a stage for your success. The set, the lighting, the props, and the audience. Everything is positioned to amplify your performance. When your environment is controlled, optimized, and aligned, your actions carry more weight, your focus is sharper, and your results accelerate. Chaos and distraction cannot dominate a person who has mastered the space in which they operate. Your environment is not separate from you. It is an extension of your discipline, focus, and strategy. If you are serious about achieving extraordinary results, take responsibility for every aspect of it. This includes physical space, digital space, social space, and mental space. Every detail matters. Every choice compounds. Every adjustment strengthens the leverage you have over your time, your energy, and your output. Commit to ongoing refinement. Evaluate your environment regularly. Identify weak points, unnecessary distractions, and negative influences. Replace them with structures, people, and inputs that reinforce your goals. Treat environment mastery as a continuous, deliberate practice. Just as elite athletes refine their training facilities and routines, you must engineer your surroundings for maximum performance. The environment is a tool. Use it ruthlessly, and it multiplies everything you do. The path to mastery is relentless. Focus, discipline, resilience, and time management are all amplified or diminished by environment. The more intentional, optimized, and supportive your surroundings, the easier it becomes to sustain high performance. Neglect it, and even your best efforts are diluted. The choices you make today about where you live, work, learn, and engage are the infrastructure of your future success. Your environment either anchors you in mediocrity or propels you toward excellence. Choose deliberately. Build intentionally. Protect your space, your inputs, and your circle. Refine continuously. The stage is yours. Command it. Control it. Master it. Mastering your environment sets the stage, but no preparation, no matter how meticulous, creates results without action. Action is the engine of achievement. Ideas without execution are fantasies. Plans without movement are illusions. Every second spent waiting for perfect conditions, every moment lost to hesitation, is an opportunity surrendered. Success is never a passive reward. It is earned through relentless, deliberate, decisive action. Consider how often you've delayed, hesitated, or doubted yourself. How often have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I need more time to prepare"? The truth is, tomorrow is never guaranteed. The perfect moment is a myth. The only moment you truly control is now. Relentless action means abandoning excuses, abandoning delay, and moving forward with urgency, clarity, and purpose. Momentum is built in motion, not in contemplation. Start by identifying the next critical action, the one step that moves the needle toward your goal. Don't wait for clarity to arrive fully formed. Take the step with what you know now. Action generates insight, reveals obstacles, and produces results that guide the next move. Hesitation only obscures the path. Decisive action cuts through uncertainty. You do not need to know everything to start, but you do need to commit fully to moving. Execution requires discipline. Ideas may excite, but without follow-through, excitement is fleeting. Commit to completing tasks, finishing what you start, and honoring your promises to yourself. Treat every action as a non-negotiable appointment. The habit of consistent execution compounds into unstoppable momentum. One completed task leads to another, and soon your progress becomes visible, undeniable, and inevitable. Fear often masquerades as inaction. The hesitation you feel is rarely about logistics. It is about resistance within your mind. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of imperfection, they are natural, but they do not excuse delay. The antidote is simple. Act anyway. Every step taken despite fear reduces its power. Courage is not the absence of doubt, it is moving forward in its presence. Each action builds confidence, each success reinforces capability, and each failure becomes a lesson rather than a deterrent. Time is unforgiving, which makes prompt action essential. The window for opportunity is never permanent. Hesitation reduces potential, postpones results, and compounds regret. High performers do not wait for inspiration or ideal conditions. They move now. The discipline of action creates its own momentum, and momentum fuels speed, clarity, and opportunity. Start before you feel ready. Start before the moment feels perfect. Start, because starting is what separates dreamers from achievers. Break large goals into manageable steps. Relentless action is not about recklessness or overextension. It is about focused, consistent effort in the right direction. Identify the smallest step that progresses your goal and execute it immediately. Completion, even of small tasks, builds momentum. Each act of progress reduces psychological resistance for the next. Large outcomes are achieved one deliberate action at a time, compounding into remarkable results. Accountability amplifies action. Make commitments publicly or to someone you trust. Declare your intentions, establish timelines, and create measurable targets. The pressure of accountability compels follow-through, minimizes rationalization, and accelerates progress. When others know your goals, Hesitation becomes harder to justify. Momentum becomes harder to stop. Relentless action thrives under scrutiny, discipline, and structured accountability. Overcome analysis paralysis by setting limits on deliberation. Too often, time is wasted weighing options endlessly, seeking perfect certainty or fearing mistakes. Bound the thinking, define the decision, and act decisively. Limit the window for planning and maximize the window for execution. Action is the true test of ideas. Until you move, nothing is proven. Speed combined with focused effort produces results faster than endless contemplation ever will. Failures are inevitable, but relentless actors treat them as data, not defeat. Each misstep provides insight into what works, what doesn't, and how to improve. Do not fear mistakes. Use them. Iterate quickly. Adjust, refine, and move forward. The person who takes action learns exponentially faster than the one who waits for perfect conditions. Experience compounds, knowledge accelerates, and skill grows only through doing. Visualize the impact of consistent action. Imagine building a wall, one brick at a time. Each day, each step, each completed task adds a brick. The structure grows steadily, imperceptibly at first, but soon it becomes undeniable, towering, and strong. Progress is rarely instantaneous. It accumulates. Small, consistent actions, taken relentlessly, are the foundation of extraordinary results. Momentum is the compounding effect of persistent execution. Energy management is essential for sustained action. Action is more than physical effort. It requires focus, clarity, and mental resilience. Guard your energy. Break tasks into periods of high intensity, followed by strategic recovery. When energy is high, execution is faster, sharper, and more effective. When energy wanes, momentum slows. Structure your days to align peak energy with high-leverage tasks. Relentless action is a product of both effort and energy management. Avoid the trap of busy work. Not all action is productive. Relentless action targets high-impact tasks, the ones that generate the greatest results relative to effort. Identify what matters most. Direct your focus toward the critical actions that move the needle. Action without impact is just motion. It does not create progress. Discipline yourself to do what counts consistently without distraction. Internal resistance is natural but surmountable. You will encounter moments when motivation dips, when distractions lure, when doubt tempts. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is the choice to act despite resistance. Momentum builds from pushing through these moments. Action generates clarity, confidence, and progress. Waiting only magnifies uncertainty and reinforces hesitation. Take the first step. Even when small, it ignites movement. Relentless action thrives on measurement. Track your progress, quantify outcomes, and evaluate performance. Feedback accelerates refinement. When you see results, momentum strengthens. When you see gaps, course correction is immediate. Metrics provide clarity, remove ambiguity, and sustain forward motion. Relentless action is not blind effort. It is deliberate, measured, and continuously improved. Visualization reinforces execution. Picture the desired outcome vividly. See the tasks completed, obstacles overcome, and results achieved. The mind responds to vivid imagery, priming focus, and energizing effort. Combine visualization with immediate action, and you create a feedback loop of momentum. Mental rehearsal clarifies the path, but execution transforms vision into reality. Small steps compound into extraordinary outcomes. Do not underestimate the power of incremental progress. Every email sent, every call made, every line of code written, every conversation initiated adds to the momentum. Relentless action is consistent, deliberate, and cumulative. Results are rarely sudden. They are the outcome of continuous, purposeful motion. Each step is both action and investment in the future. Fear of imperfection is a common barrier to action. Perfection is a myth. Waiting for ideal conditions or flawless execution is the enemy of progress. Relentless action embraces imperfection and iteration. Start imperfectly, improve continuously, and adjust quickly. The path to mastery is paved with repeated attempts, refined processes, and lessons learned through doing. Commitment is the foundation of action. A half-hearted effort yields half-hearted results. Relentless action demands total commitment, focus without compromise, effort without reservation, and follow-through without excuses. Every decision to move forward reinforces identity, strengthens discipline, and compounds into results. The person who acts decisively today builds the reality they desire tomorrow. Momentum feeds itself. Once action begins, it is easier to continue. Hesitation diminishes, clarity improves, and energy amplifies. The first step is always the hardest, but once taken, subsequent steps gain speed. Use momentum deliberately, stack small wins, tackle consecutive tasks, and build unstoppable progress. Action is not a single event. It is a chain reaction that accelerates success. The path to achievement is forged through relentless action. Ideas, preparation, and knowledge are powerless without execution. Each moment wasted is an opportunity lost, each delay a step backward. Mastery requires movement, decisive, deliberate, consistent movement toward your goals. Hesitate, and the window closes. Act relentlessly, and the path opens. Stop waiting, start doing. The perfect conditions do not exist. The ideal time may never come. The only time you control is now. Commit to action immediately, deliberately, and consistently. Every step forward builds momentum. Every completed task strengthens capability. Every lesson learned accelerates progress. Success favors those who move before they are ready, those who act despite fear, those who relentlessly turn vision into reality. Relentless action is a lifestyle. It is not about occasional bursts of effort. It is about creating a pattern of continuous execution, day after day, moment after moment. Build habits that support immediate action, eliminate excuses that justify delay, and cultivate a mindset that sees motion as the path to results. The world rewards those who act decisively, consistently, and without hesitation. Relentless action fuels results, but without structure, momentum can falter. Habits are the invisible architecture of your success. They shape your days, guide your decisions, and automate excellence. While motivation may waver and willpower can falter, habits operate quietly, consistently, and relentlessly. They are the engine that turns intention into action, repetition into mastery, and effort into extraordinary results. Think of habits as the compound interest of behavior. One small, consistent action, repeated daily, grows over time into massive results. Brushing your teeth, exercising, reading, or completing a daily task may seem insignificant in isolation. Yet, when compounded day after day, month after month, they create momentum that accelerates progress exponentially. Habits determine more about your future than talent, inspiration, or luck ever will. Start by identifying keystone habits, the few behaviors that produce disproportionate results in multiple areas of your life. Exercise is not just physical health, it strengthens discipline, mental clarity, and energy. Morning routines set tone for productivity, focus, and intentionality. Writing or reflection develops critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving skills. Identify these high-leverage actions and make them non-negotiable. Consistency is more important than intensity. A small action performed consistently beats occasional bursts of effort every time. Habits rely on repetition, not heroics. Commit to the daily grind, even when enthusiasm fades, even when results are invisible. Momentum is built not in peaks of effort, but in sustained, methodical action. The key is showing up, executing, and compounding over time. Environment reinforces habits. The people, spaces, and inputs around you cue behavior, often unconsciously. Align your environment with the habits you want to cultivate. Place reminders, remove temptations, and design triggers that prompt the right action. If your environment encourages focus, productivity, and discipline, your habits will naturally align. If it encourages distraction, procrastination, or low effort, habits will suffer. Mastering habits requires mastering the cues that trigger them. Behavioral friction is your enemy. Make bad habits inconvenient and good habits effortless. If you want to read more, place books where you see them first thing each morning. If you want to eat healthier, remove junk food from your home. Make distractions harder to access and productive actions easier to perform. Small adjustments in friction compound into significant behavioral shifts over time. Habit stacking accelerates progress. Link a new habit to an existing one. After brushing your teeth, write one page. After your morning coffee, review your priorities. When actions are attached to established routines, they become automatic. Momentum builds naturally, and over time, behaviors that once required thought become effortless. Habit stacking is leverage in motion. Track progress rigorously. Visibility creates accountability. When you measure performance, you identify patterns, uncover gaps, and reinforce positive behaviors. Journals, checklists, and digital trackers are powerful tools. Tracking is not about perfection, it is about awareness. Awareness creates opportunity for adjustment, optimization, and continuous improvement. Habits compound fastest when they are observed, measured, and refined. Reward yourself strategically. Habits are reinforced through feedback. Immediate rewards make repetition enjoyable, increasing the likelihood of long-term adherence. Celebrate milestones, acknowledge progress, and create small incentives that strengthen behavior. Motivation alone fades, but when paired with intentional reinforcement, habits embed deeply and persistently. Resistance is natural. You will encounter days when you don't feel like acting, when willpower wavers, when distractions beckon. Habits overcome these moments by creating automaticity. When actions are ingrained, they occur even when motivation is absent. The goal is not reliance on fleeting enthusiasm. It is reliance on structured behavior that continues relentlessly, regardless of emotional state. Start small, scale strategically. Grand visions can intimidate and paralyze. Begin with micro habits that are achievable, consistent, and aligned with your goals. One push-up, 5 minutes of reading, or a single page written is enough to start the compounding effect. Over time, increase intensity, duration, and complexity. The key is to start, to repeat, and to scale deliberately. Habits shape identity. Every action communicates who you are, even to yourself. Reading daily is not just a task. It signals, I am a learner. Exercising regularly says, I am disciplined. Completing tasks consistently declares, I am capable and reliable. Identity and behavior are intertwined. The habits you choose ultimately define who you become. Leverage habits to shape the person you want to be. Eliminate decision fatigue. The fewer trivial decisions you make, the more mental energy remains for high-leverage choices. Habits automate repetitive behavior, freeing cognitive capacity for strategic thinking and focused action. The person who controls habits controls energy, attention, and ultimately, results. Automation is not laziness. It is strategic efficiency applied ruthlessly. Failure is part of habit formation. Missing a day, slipping into old patterns, or faltering under stress is inevitable. Resilient individuals treat lapses as feedback, not failure. Analyze what triggered the lapse, adjust the environment, and recommit immediately. One misstep does not erase progress. Relentless adherence over time outweighs isolated errors. Resilience and habit formation reinforce each other. Accountability multiplies effectiveness. Share your goals with someone who will check in, challenge progress, and celebrate milestones. Public commitment heightens adherence, reduces rationalization, and accelerates habit formation. Even silent observation, the knowledge that someone is aware, can create pressure to maintain consistency. Habits thrive under oversight, whether external or self-imposed. Time compounds habit results. A small habit maintained consistently over months or years produces extraordinary outcomes. Mastery, skill, health, and productivity are not achieved overnight. They are the result of disciplined, incremental action compounded over time. The person who underestimates the power of small, consistent habits underestimates the speed and scale of growth they generate. Visualization strengthens habit adherence. Imagine yourself executing the habit flawlessly, experiencing the benefits, and internalizing the identity it conveys. Mental rehearsal reinforces the automaticity of action. The brain begins to accept the behavior as part of your normal routine, increasing likelihood of consistency. Habits are as much psychological as they are physical. Train the mind to reinforce the body. Integrate reflection into habit practice. Regularly review which behaviors are producing results, which are stagnant, and which are misaligned. Adjust frequency, intensity, or focus accordingly. Reflection transforms repetition into refinement. Continuous evaluation ensures that habits remain high leverage and aligned with long-term goals. Without assessment, habits may continue mindlessly, producing minimal impact. Environment, action, and habit are inseparable. Habits flourish where focus is cultivated, action is consistent, and surroundings reinforce desired behavior. Neglect one, and the chain breaks. Optimize all three simultaneously. The person who aligns environment, action, and habit creates a system that operates relentlessly, propelling growth, progress, and achievement almost automatically. Commit to mastery through repetition. Discipline is born from repeated action, focus is sharpened by consistent execution, and excellence emerges from habits repeated without compromise. Build routines that support your objectives, eliminate behaviors that undermine them, and design your life so that progress becomes inevitable. Habits transform effort into automation, struggle into momentum, and intention into tangible results. The power of habits is not in perfection, but in persistence. Each day of deliberate behavior strengthens identity, compounds skill, and accelerates results. Missed moments are temporary, but sustained adherence creates permanent change. Momentum, once established through habits, drives performance even in the face of resistance, doubt, or adversity. Leverage habits to multiply every action you take. Every step executed, every task completed, every repetition practiced becomes part of a larger system that works quietly, efficiently, and relentlessly. Over time, the results become extraordinary, not because of single heroic efforts, but because of the disciplined, habitual motion that never stops, never hesitates, and never excuses. Habits are powerful, but their impact depends on one crucial factor: consistency. Intensity without consistency is like a spark in a storm, briefly brilliant, quickly extinguished. The person who bursts with energy occasionally may impress for a moment, but they rarely achieve lasting results. True transformation, true mastery, is built by showing up day after day, consistently, regardless of circumstances, emotion, or external conditions. Imagine a river cutting through rock. It does not achieve this feat through sudden, violent torrents, but through the steady, unrelenting flow of water over time. Each drop seems insignificant, each moment of action minor, yet the cumulative effect is unstoppable. That is the power of consistency. It multiplies small efforts into monumental results. Intensity is fleeting, consistency compounds. The temptation to overexert yourself in bursts is natural. You want immediate impact. You want rapid transformation. You want to feel productive, to see results quickly. But bursts burn out. They drain energy, create peaks and valleys, and rarely establish sustainable systems. Consistency, even at a moderate pace, creates durability, momentum, and unstoppable progress. Small, regular steps always win over sporadic heroics. Consistency is not glamorous. It does not inspire admiration on social media or create dramatic moments. It is ordinary, repetitive, sometimes invisible. But ordinary is the backbone of extraordinary. Every day you show up, complete a task, honor a commitment, or practice a skill, you are building invisible structures that compound into undeniable success. Results are not instantaneous. They are the product of disciplined repetition. Start with small, achievable actions. Consistency is reinforced when early wins are visible, when habits are attainable, and when progress is measurable. Set realistic daily targets and commit to them. The goal is not to exhaust yourself with occasional feats of heroism, but to create a rhythm of steady forward motion. Each completed step builds confidence, reinforces identity, and strengthens momentum. Momentum is fragile. Sporadic intensity creates surges of energy followed by inevitable crashes. The person who acts consistently, even at a lower intensity, maintains motion, avoids burnout, and accumulates compounding results. The cumulative effect of daily action far outweighs the occasional, high-intensity effort that cannot be sustained. True power lies in persistence over time. Consistency creates trust with yourself and others. Following through day after day builds credibility, reliability, and self-respect. You begin to see yourself as someone who acts, who delivers, who performs regardless of external conditions. This internal trust fuels motivation, reduces doubt, and strengthens resilience. When consistency becomes a non-negotiable standard, excuses lose their power. External conditions will never be perfect. Motivation will ebb and flow. Energy will rise and fall. Consistency ensures that progress continues despite these fluctuations. You do not wait for inspiration. You do not pause for ideal conditions. You commit to showing up, doing the work, and moving forward regardless of circumstances. That is how results become inevitable. Track and measure progress consistently. Daily reflection, logging achievements, and reviewing habits reinforce the pattern of action. Visibility creates accountability and magnifies the power of repetition. Even small, incremental improvements, when executed consistently, accumulate into profound transformation. The trajectory of growth is exponential, not linear, when consistency becomes the default mode of operation. Consistency also fosters mastery. Skills are refined not through sporadic bursts, but through repeated, deliberate practice. Muscle memory, cognitive skill, and mental resilience all grow through repetition. The person who practices a craft daily, even imperfectly, advances further than the one who practices sporadically with intensity. Mastery is forged through patience, persistence, and daily effort. Overcoming setbacks is easier with consistency. When action is habitual, a missed day is a blip rather than a derailment. The system is stronger than individual moments. Momentum carries you through temporary disruptions. Sporadic intensity leaves you vulnerable. One obstacle can undo weeks of effort. Consistency builds resilience by embedding action into identity, ensuring progress continues even under stress. Visualize consistency as laying bricks one at a time. Each day, each task, each repeated action is a brick in the foundation of your success. Some days the progress feels invisible. Some bricks may seem insignificant. Yet over weeks and months, the wall rises, strong and unshakable. Intensity may create excitement, but consistency creates structure, durability, and inevitability. Consistency reduces decision fatigue. When actions are habitual, they require less deliberation. You no longer waste energy debating whether to act or how to act. Systems and routines automate success. The mind is freed for strategic thinking, problem-solving, and high-leverage decisions. Regular action, repeated without hesitation, multiplies efficiency and effectiveness. Discipline fuels consistency. Motivation is fleeting, unreliable, and unpredictable. Discipline, showing up regardless of how you feel, anchors action. The person who cultivates discipline acts even when tired, distracted, or uninspired. They maintain progress through sheer commitment to the process. Consistency is not optional for those who pursue excellence. It is the natural outcome of disciplined behavior. Avoid comparing your journey to others. Some may act with bursts of intensity that create the illusion of rapid progress. Focus on your rhythm, your system, your daily execution. Consistency over time produces results that are deeper, longer-lasting, and far more impactful than sporadic heroics. Your focus should be on sustaining effort, not impressing others. The results will speak for themselves. Consistency builds confidence. When you see evidence of progress day after day, even in small increments, self-belief grows. doubt diminishes, fear loses power. The knowledge that you can rely on yourself, that you can take action no matter what, is invaluable. Confidence is the byproduct of repeated action, and repeated action comes only through consistency. Reflection amplifies consistency. Daily evaluation of habits, routines, and progress ensures that effort remains aligned with goals. Adjustments refine the system without breaking the pattern. Consistency is not mindless repetition. It is deliberate, structured, and constantly improving. Small tweaks compound over time, making the process more efficient, more effective, and more aligned with your objectives. The principle of consistency applies across all areas of life. Physical fitness, financial growth, skill acquisition, relationships, and personal development all require sustained effort. Short bursts of intense action are rarely enough. Long-term results are the product of persistent, habitual behavior executed reliably over time. Consistency transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. Habits, action, and consistency are inseparable. Daily execution builds habits. Habits automate behavior. Automation ensures consistency. Each element reinforces the other, creating a self-sustaining system of progress. The person who masters this loop becomes unstoppable, capable of producing results beyond what sporadic intensity could achieve. Forgiveness is part of the process. Missed days, lapses, or mistakes will occur. Consistency is not perfection. It is persistence. The key is to return immediately to the pattern, to resume action without self-criticism, and to maintain momentum. A single interruption does not erase months of disciplined effort. Resilience and consistency work together to ensure long-term success. Visualize your life as a long-distance race, not a sprint. Sporadic bursts may impress on short stretches, but only those who maintain a steady, deliberate pace will cross the finish line. Each day of consistent action propels you forward. Each repeated habit compounds. The finish line is reached not by flashes of intensity, but by unyielding commitment to steady progress. Identity is shaped by consistency. The person who shows up daily, who executes without fail, becomes someone who embodies discipline, reliability, and excellence. Actions define identity. Identity drives further action. When consistency is ingrained, it becomes self-reinforcing. You are no longer acting only to achieve a goal. You are acting because it is who you are. Commit today to the power of consistent effort. Small daily steps create unstoppable momentum. Ignore the temptation for sporadic heroics. Focus on reliability, repetition, and persistence. The compounding effect of daily action will carry you farther than any burst of intensity ever could. The person who perseveres, one deliberate step at a time, achieves results that are permanent, transformative, and extraordinary. Consistency trumps intensity. Remember this principle in every decision, every action, every choice you make. Show up, day after day. Take the next step, even when it feels small. Trust the process, honor the system, and allow time to compound your efforts. The life you desire is built not on rare surges of effort, but on the unbroken rhythm of consistent, deliberate action. Consistency is a cornerstone of success, but even the most disciplined habits falter without ownership. Taking full ownership means accepting complete responsibility for every aspect of your life, your choices, your actions, your results, and even your failures. It is a radical shift from blaming circumstances, other people, or luck to realizing that you are the author of your destiny. Ownership transforms your mindset, your behavior, and ultimately your results. When you take ownership, excuses lose power. No longer can you say, "I can't because of this," or "it's not my fault." Every challenge, every setback, every limitation becomes a canvas for action, a prompt for growth, a call to adapt and overcome. Ownership is not about self-blame, it is about empowerment. When you accept full responsibility, you reclaim control over your life. You stop being a passenger and start being the driver. Start with a brutal inventory of your life. Examine your goals, habits, relationships, career, health, and mindset. Identify where you have been reactive instead of proactive. Notice where excuses, rationalizations, or avoidance have prevented progress. This is not a moment for comfort. It is a moment for clarity. Ownership begins with honesty. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Ownership transforms your relationship with failure. Failures are no longer external events to blame or avoid. They are information, feedback, and opportunity. Every mistake teaches you what works, what doesn't, and what must change. The person who owns their failures analyzes, adapts, and moves forward, whereas those who abdicate responsibility stagnate, resent, and repeat patterns of inaction. Mistakes are inevitable, but ownership turns them into fuel for growth. Life will always present obstacles, setbacks, and unpredictability. Ownership is the choice to respond with agency rather than passivity. You cannot control every event, but you can control your response. How you interpret challenges, how you act in adversity, and how you persist defines outcomes far more than circumstances themselves. Taking ownership means acting decisively, regardless of external conditions. Decisive action is inseparable from ownership. When you recognize that your results are entirely your responsibility, waiting, hesitating, or blaming becomes unacceptable. You no longer passively hope for change. You create it. Ownership demands initiative. It demands that you act now with clarity, focus, and determination. The power to shape your life resides in the choices you make at this very moment. Ownership begins in the mind. Thoughts shape action. Beliefs create behavior. If you tell yourself, "I have no control," your actions will reflect limitation. If you tell yourself, "I am responsible," your behavior aligns with accountability, resourcefulness, and persistence. Mastery of your inner narrative is the first step toward mastery of your external world. Every thought can either empower or limit you. Ownership requires that you choose empowerment. Take responsibility for your time. Time is a resource you cannot reclaim once lost. Every hour wasted is a decision you made, consciously or unconsciously, to relinquish control. Ownership means planning your time deliberately, prioritizing what matters, and executing without procrastination. You cannot control everything in life, but you can control how you invest your hours, minutes, and energy. Ownership extends to relationships. The people you interact with, the influence you absorb, and the support you seek are all within your responsibility. Choosing who to surround yourself with, how you communicate, and how you contribute to relationships is an act of ownership. Do not wait for others to change, to inspire, or to motivate you. Take full responsibility for the quality and direction of every interaction in your life. Your health, energy, and resilience are also non-negotiable aspects of ownership. You cannot perform at a high level without taking responsibility for your body, mind, and energy. Exercise, nutrition, rest, and mental conditioning are your obligations, not optional. Excuses about time, resources, or circumstances are irrelevant. Ownership demands that you prioritize your capacity to act and persist. Financial accountability is another domain where ownership transforms outcomes. Your financial position, your spending, your earning, and your long-term security are largely determined by the decisions you make daily. Waiting for luck, complaining about circumstances, or relying on external solutions abdicates control. Full ownership means taking deliberate steps to create stability, growth, and security, regardless of where you start. Owning your choices requires courage. Some decisions are uncomfortable. Some paths are uncertain. Some actions will be unpopular or misunderstood. Ownership is choosing to act in alignment with your goals and values, even when it is difficult, inconvenient, or intimidating. Courage and ownership are inseparable. They reinforce each other with every decisive step taken. Stop externalizing blame. Every failure, delay, or missed opportunity is a reflection of a choice you made, consciously or unconsciously. When you shift from blame to ownership, you gain power. Excuses shrink, clarity grows, and solutions become visible. The moment you accept that every result is yours to claim or correct, the world stops controlling you, because you are in charge. Ownership demands reflection and learning. Every day, review your actions, decisions, and results. Where did you excel? Where did you falter? What can you change tomorrow? Reflection is not self-criticism. It is a tool to sharpen your agency. The person who owns their life continually learns, adapts, and improves. Stagnation occurs when responsibility is avoided. Growth accelerates when ownership is embraced. Accountability magnifies ownership. Share goals, intentions, and progress with someone who will challenge, support, and hold you to standards. Accountability is a mirror. It reflects where you succeed and where you fall short. Use it as fuel, not judgment. The combination of internal responsibility and external accountability creates unstoppable momentum. The external world will never be perfectly fair. Obstacles will arise, unfair circumstances will test you, and setbacks will challenge your resolve. Ownership is the mindset that, regardless of fairness, you act decisively, you find a way, you create solutions, you persist. Waiting for conditions to align or for others to act first is a relinquishment of control. Ownership demands that you act as if the world is exactly as it is, and you are still fully responsible for your results. Ownership is also proactive, not reactive. Waiting for a crisis to act, or for problems to reach a tipping point, is abdication. Anticipate, plan, and act ahead of challenges. Control what you can, mitigate what you cannot, and respond with deliberate strategy. Proactive ownership is a multiplier. It prevents minor setbacks from becoming catastrophic and converts obstacles into opportunities for growth. Mental and emotional ownership is equally vital. You are responsible for your mindset, your focus, and your reactions. Frustration, anger, self-doubt, or fear are natural, but you control how you engage with them. Ownership transforms emotional energy into fuel rather than a hindrance. You no longer react passively. You respond intentionally. This mental sovereignty amplifies every other aspect of your life. Visualization supports ownership. Imagine yourself taking full responsibility, acting decisively, and achieving your goals. See the consequences of choices, the actions required, and the rewards earned. Mental rehearsal strengthens commitment, reinforces accountability, and primes action. Ownership begins in the mind and manifests in behavior. Every decision and every act becomes aligned with your full responsibility for life outcomes. Ownership accelerates results because it eliminates delay. When you claim responsibility, excuses vanish, hesitation dissipates, and decisions become immediate. You stop waiting for external solutions or validation. You act. You execute. You solve problems. Progress, once hindered by passivity or deflection, now moves swiftly and deliberately. Ownership is a catalyst for accelerated achievement. Ownership also instills pride and self-respect. The knowledge that you are fully responsible for your life, that every result is a reflection of your choices, creates empowerment and confidence. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as the architect of destiny. This pride is not arrogance. It is the quiet, unwavering certainty that you are capable, accountable, and unstoppable. Every successful person, in every field, demonstrates ownership. They do not wait for permission, excuses, or ideal conditions. They see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and responsibility as empowerment. Ownership allows you to act decisively, consistently, and strategically. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones, obstacles into leverage, and potential into results. Take ownership of your story. Choose to write the next chapter deliberately, with intention, clarity, and purpose. Stop blaming, stop waiting, stop hoping for external validation. Every decision, every action, every response is yours to claim. Responsibility is power, and power resides in ownership. The life you want is not a gift, it is a creation. Claim it, act upon it, and own it fully. Taking full ownership transforms your mindset, but ownership without feedback is like sailing a ship without a compass. You are moving, yes, but not necessarily in the right direction. Accountability and feedback are the accelerators of progress, the mirrors that reveal blind spots, and the catalysts that turn good effort into extraordinary results. To succeed relentlessly, you must seek external perspectives as rigorously as you execute internally. True accountability begins with honesty. It requires showing up before someone else sees your results, admitting where you fall short, and being willing to accept critique without defensiveness. It is not a weakness, it is strength. The person who seeks accountability is already ahead of those who wait for mistakes to be pointed out. By inviting scrutiny, you harness the collective power of perspective, experience, and insight. Start by identifying the people whose judgment you respect, whose knowledge is relevant, and whose standards are higher than your own. These are the mentors, peers, or partners who will hold you to your promises, challenge complacency, and demand performance. When accountability is paired with trust, the results multiply. They will not allow excuses to stand, and neither should you. Feedback is a gift disguised as criticism. Every piece of constructive feedback illuminates a path you might not have seen, exposes weakness you might not have acknowledged, and accelerates your evolution. Most people shy away from feedback because it feels uncomfortable, even threatening. But those who embrace it grow faster, adapt smarter, and refine their approach more effectively than anyone relying solely on intuition or self-assessment. Seek feedback before failure arrives. Don't wait for disaster to point out flaws. Ask for insights continuously. Use questions like, what could I do better? What am I missing? Where could I improve? The proactive pursuit of input turns potential mistakes into learning opportunities and stagnation into growth. Every comment, observation, or suggestion becomes a tool for refinement, a step closer to mastery. Accountability structures behavior. Declare your commitments publicly or to someone who will hold you responsible. When a promise is witnessed, it becomes more than intention. It becomes obligation. Social accountability, peer pressure, or mentorship are not threats. They are accelerators. They compel follow-through, reduce rationalization, and embed a higher standard of action. The promise you make to yourself is strengthened when mirrored by another's expectation. Create measurable milestones to track performance. Ambiguous goals produce ambiguous results. Accountability thrives on clarity. Define what success looks like, what completion entails, and what metrics indicate progress. When actions are observable, measurable, and reported, they become tangible. This transparency transforms ordinary effort into disciplined execution. Every metric becomes feedback, and every feedback loop fuels growth. Internalize accountability as a mindset, not just an external practice. Even without oversight, hold yourself to the highest standard. Review progress regularly. Identify gaps between intention and execution. Question whether actions align with objectives. Self-accountability is the strongest form of accountability because it does not rely on anyone else. It comes from your integrity, discipline, and commitment to results. Feedback is not always comfortable, and neither is growth. You will encounter critique that stings, observations that challenge your assumptions, and truths you resist hearing. This discomfort is necessary. Avoiding feedback delays progress. Embracing it accelerates evolution. Growth is born from tension between where you are and where you could be. Feedback exposes that tension, giving you direction, clarity, and purpose. Distinguish between opinion and insight. Not all feedback is equally valuable. Seek perspectives that are informed, relevant, and actionable. Filter out noise, but never dismiss constructive critique simply because it challenges you. Learn to listen actively, ask clarifying questions, and translate advice into concrete adjustments. Feedback is the fuel. Your discernment turns fuel into acceleration. Create a culture of accountability in your daily life. Surround yourself with people who challenge, inspire, and raise the standard. Avoid those who excuse mediocrity, celebrate complacency, or tolerate avoidance. Environment shapes behavior. Accountability thrives in a culture of high standards, mutual responsibility, and relentless pursuit of improvement. The people around you determine how far you will stretch, adapt, and achieve. Feedback accelerates skill development. Mastery is not achieved by repetition alone. It is achieved by correcting errors, refining technique, and adjusting strategy in response to insight. Each piece of guidance is an opportunity to remove friction, eliminate wasted effort, and improve efficiency. Skills evolve fastest under a cycle of action, reflection, adjustment, and feedback. Ignore this cycle, and growth slows. Embrace it, and you propel forward exponentially. Accountability protects against excuses. When you answer to someone, or even to a system of metrics, rationalization loses its power. There is no room for, "I didn't feel like it," or "the circumstances weren't perfect." Consistent reporting, monitoring, and reflection enforce action. Delays, procrastination, and half-effort are exposed and corrected. Accountability creates a mirror that forces honesty and reveals the gap between aspiration and execution. Action without feedback is blind. You may be working hard, performing tasks, and making progress, but without calibration, effort can drift away from impact. Feedback aligns action with results. It ensures that energy is directed to the most critical areas, that methods are effective, and that mistakes are corrected early. The person who combines relentless action with structured feedback operates with clarity, precision, and unstoppable momentum. Accountability and feedback also strengthen resilience. When you expose yourself to scrutiny and embrace critique, you build mental toughness. You learn to detach ego from performance, to accept failure as a stepping stone, and to iterate without fear. Constructive pressure transforms resistance into fuel, making you sharper, more adaptable, and more capable in high-stakes situations. Growth and discomfort are inseparable, and accountability accelerates both. Make feedback actionable. Vague advice is a starting point, but only specific, implementable suggestions lead to change. Break insights into steps, define tasks, and execute corrections immediately. The longer feedback sits unaddressed, the weaker its effect. Action amplifies feedback. Iteration turns insight into results. Continuous improvement is a product of relentless evaluation paired with immediate execution. Transparency strengthens accountability. Share your progress, obstacles, and results openly with mentors, partners, or peers. When efforts are visible, gaps become apparent. When gaps are apparent, adjustments follow. Transparency removes ambiguity, enforces responsibility, and accelerates alignment between intention and outcome. The person who hides effort or avoids scrutiny stagnates. The one who exposes and reflects accelerates relentlessly. Accountability is not punishment. It is empowerment. It illuminates blind spots, highlights opportunities, and accelerates learning. The discomfort of critique is temporary. The growth it produces is permanent. Embrace it as a tool, not a threat. Those who fear accountability limit their potential. Those who welcome it multiply theirs. The path to excellence is paved with feedback, reflection, and disciplined follow-through. Self-reflection complements external feedback. Daily review of choices, actions, and results strengthens the impact of accountability. Compare actions to standards, outcomes to objectives, and effort to potential. Self-awareness amplifies insight from others and embeds accountability into your identity. When reflection becomes habitual, adjustment becomes automatic, and growth becomes inevitable. Accountability and feedback create speed. Progress that would take months in isolation accelerates when insights, corrections, and guidance are incorporated in real time. Mistakes are identified early, strategies refined quickly, and results achieved faster. The combination of ownership, relentless action, and external perspective produces compounding momentum that is virtually unstoppable. Feedback also builds humility and perspective. The best performers understand that they do not know everything. They actively seek input, absorb insight, and challenge their assumptions. Accountability keeps ego in check, ensures continuous learning, and prevents stagnation. Humility is not weakness. It is a recognition that improvement is continuous, and feedback is the compass that guides you. Embrace accountability not as an obligation, but as a catalyst for freedom. When you know where you stand, when your actions are visible, and when insight guides your progress, you no longer drift. You move decisively. You course correct with precision. You achieve with clarity. Accountability transforms effort from scattered energy into targeted, high-leverage impact. You've cultivated focus, discipline, resilience, ownership, consistency, and accountability. You've built habits that compound, refined actions that multiply results, and learn to respond with clarity to challenges. Now comes the ultimate step, applying all of it with ruthless focus, not occasionally, not partially, but entirely. Your life as an instrument of deliberate, unstoppable execution. Ruthless focus is not a tactic. It is a way of living. Ruthless focus begins with clarity. Know exactly what you want, why you want it, and what it will cost. If your goals are vague, your energy will scatter. If your purpose is unclear, effort becomes diluted. The person who achieves relentlessly has a vision so sharp that every decision, every action, every sacrifice aligns perfectly with it. Clarity is not optional, it is the foundation. Without it, focus falters, distractions multiply, and momentum dies. Commitment amplifies clarity. Once you know your target, own it fully. Commit as if your life depends on it, because in a way, it does. Half-hearted action invites distraction. Hesitation multiplies obstacles. Ruthless focus requires a level of commitment that tolerates no compromise, no rationalization, and no shortcuts. When you commit, the universe begins to bend in your favor, and your mind begins to eliminate everything that does not serve your objective. Prioritization is the weapon of focus. Not every task deserves your energy. Ruthless focus demands ruthless discernment. Identify the activities that produce disproportionate results and eliminate the noise. Every distraction, every non-essential, every trivial pursuit steals momentum. Focus requires saying no repeatedly to anything that does not move you toward your goal. The world will demand your attention constantly, but your power lies in what you choose to ignore. Energy management is inseparable from focus. Your mental clarity, physical vitality, and emotional resilience determine the depth and duration of your concentration. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and recovery are non-negotiable components of ruthless focus. You cannot perform at your peak if energy is depleted or scattered. Focus is amplified when the body, mind, and emotions are aligned, rested, and primed for action. Eliminate distraction mercilessly. Technology, social obligations, unnecessary noise, every interruption is a thief of attention. Create an environment that supports uninterrupted concentration. Clear your space, set boundaries, and structure time deliberately. Focus is a fortress, built meticulously, defended relentlessly, and reinforced daily. Single task with intensity. Multitasking is the enemy of depth. Extraordinary results are produced not by spreading effort thin, but by applying concentrated energy to one objective at a time. Dive deeply, immerse fully, and commit without hesitation. Each hour, each action, each decision invested entirely in a single purpose compounds results far faster than scattered attempts at doing everything. Depth over breadth. That is the rule of ruthless focus. Ruthless focus thrives on process, not outcome. Obsess over what you can control. Effort, discipline, attention, and execution. Results are the byproduct of relentless application, not the object of obsession. When focus is tied to execution rather than external validation, action becomes consistent, precise, and unstoppable. The person who masters the process gains results automatically. The one who chases results first often fails. Block time strategically. Guard periods of concentrated work as sacred. Protect them from interruptions, casual inquiries, and low-leverage tasks. Create rituals that signal to yourself and others that focus is non-negotiable. The ability to produce consistently at a high level is not a function of motivation. It is a function of structured, uninterrupted time applied with precision. Embrace mental toughness. Focus will be challenged constantly by internal doubts, external demands, or fatigue. Ruthless focus is choosing action even when it is uncomfortable, inconvenient, or unwanted. It is doing what others will not, enduring what others avoid, and persisting when most give in. Your attention is your weapon, and resilience is the armor that protects it. Micro decisions accumulate into macro results. Every choice of attention matters. The decision to work instead of scroll, to learn instead of complain, to act instead of wait. Each seemingly small moment of focused action compounds exponentially. Ruthless focus is not only what you do, it is what you refuse to do. Guard your attention as if it were gold, because in a sense, it is the currency of achievement. Reflection and calibration sharpen focus. Review each day, assess outcomes, and adjust strategy. Ruthless focus is not blind adherence, it is intelligent application. Feedback loops, self-review, and course correction ensure that energy is always directed where it produces maximum impact. The person who stops evaluating stagnates. The one who relentlessly adjusts multiplies results. Focus demands sacrifice. Discomfort, convenience, and short-term gratification are enemies. The life of distraction is tempting, seductive, and often praised, but it never produces extraordinary results. Ruthless focus requires you to say no to leisure, to delay pleasure, and to prioritize long-term payoff over instant gratification. Sacrifice is not suffering, it is investment in the life you intend to create. Visualize relentlessly. Picture the results you seek, the identity you want, and the actions required. Mental rehearsal strengthens execution. When your mind is clear about the goal, your body acts with precision. Visualization is the prelude to action, the map that guides focus, and the mechanism that aligns effort with purpose. See it clearly, act decisively, and repeat without hesitation. Ruthless focus requires relentless iteration. Experiment, adjust, and refine continuously. Strategies that worked yesterday may falter today. Environments change. Obstacles emerge. The person who remains flexible, attentive, and willing to adapt maintains focus without compromising objectives. Focus is not static. It is an active, evolving state maintained by vigilance and adaptability. Ignore comparison. Others may appear more talented, faster, or better positioned. Your attention is a finite resource. Spend it exclusively on your mission. Comparison is distraction. Jealousy is wasted energy. Ruthless focus is zeroed in on execution, improvement, and results. Measure only against your own potential, progress, and performance. The only opponent that matters is the version of yourself you were yesterday. Leverage systems. Focus is amplified by structure, automation, and routine. Habits, rituals, and repeatable processes reduce cognitive load, free mental bandwidth, and ensure execution remains consistent. The person who structures life for focus does not rely on willpower alone. They design conditions where distraction is minimized, effort is maximized, and results are inevitable. Accountability multiplies focus. Share your goals, deadlines, and progress with someone who will demand performance. Visibility ensures action. Scrutiny fuels precision. The knowledge that someone else is observing your execution enhances discipline and eliminates rationalization. Focus becomes more than intention, it becomes unstoppable obligation. Celebrate execution, not perfection. Ruthless focus is measured by effort applied, tasks completed, and momentum maintained, not by flawless outcomes. Waiting for perfect conditions delays action. Action, imperfect though it may be, compounds faster than intention without execution. Momentum trumps hesitation, persistence trumps perfection, and relentless application trumps doubt. The power of ruthless focus lies in alignment. Every action, habit, and choice converges on your ultimate objective. You become a living embodiment of purpose, a directed force of energy, and a machine for execution. Distraction, doubt, and delay cannot penetrate a life structured, disciplined, and relentlessly focused. Focus is freedom. It is the ability to act without hesitation, distraction, or compromise. Commit fully, act daily, and refuse to waver. This is the culmination of every principle in this book. Habits, resilience, discipline, ownership, accountability, consistency, they all converge in ruthless focus. Your life becomes an instrument of deliberate action, a testament to clarity, and a demonstration of what is possible when human potential is unleashed with unwavering intent. Ruthless focus is not an endpoint. It is a way of life. It is the lens through which every decision passes, the filter for every opportunity, and the standard for every action. Apply it relentlessly. Protect it fiercely. Amplify it continuously. When focus becomes a habit, a mindset, and a practice, results are inevitable. Every goal, every ambition, every dream moves from possibility into reality. Live with ruthless focus. Eliminate what does not serve your mission. Optimize what propels you forward, and act decisively without hesitation. Measure success in momentum, execution, and alignment, not in comfort, approval, or fleeting emotion. Your life is your project, your actions are your tools, and your attention is the engine. Build with it relentlessly. The art of ruthless focus is not a concept, a method, or a strategy. It is your life in action. Every choice, every habit, every decision executed with deliberate intent compounds into extraordinary outcomes. You are not passive. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the architect of your reality, the executor of your potential, and the master of your destiny. This is the moment to act. The principles you've absorbed are useless unless applied. The life you desire will not arrive by chance, by hope, or by fleeting motivation. It is built deliberately, daily, and relentlessly. Focus fiercely, execute relentlessly, and take ownership of every moment. Every second wasted is opportunity lost. Every action applied with focus accelerates you toward mastery. Your life is waiting for you to command it. Apply every principle, every insight, and every habit you've cultivated. Act decisively, relentlessly, and ruthlessly. The art of ruthless focus is not a theory. It is your standard, your practice, and your reality. Live it fully, defend it fiercely, and let every action reflect your unshakable commitment to excellence.